Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling what is honestly one of the most frustrating hurdles in learning a new language, especially English. You know the exact feeling, right? You can read perfectly, you write beautifully, you know the grammar rules inside and out, but the very second you actually have to open your mouth and speak, you just freeze up. The words literally vanish. It's a totally overwhelming feeling. But here is the really good news. Achieving spoken fluency doesn't have to be this exhausting grind, and you honestly don't even need a traditional classroom to do it.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by unpacking the fluency trap, then we'll talk about why consistency beats intensity, and we'll open up a whole toolkit of proven solo practice techniques. After that, we'll cover overcoming the fear, lay out a really simple 2-week action plan, and finally, look at what to do beyond solo practice. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, the fluency trap, knowing the words but freezing up. So why exactly do we freeze when speaking? It is a completely valid frustration to have. Why is there such a massive disconnect between understanding a language in your head and actually speaking it out loud under pressure? You might have this incredible vocabulary banked up in your brain, but translating that into physical speech in real time? Well, it feels like hitting a brick wall. A lot of learners fall into these common traps that cause that freeze response. They'll spend months overstudying really complex grammar rules, basically just waiting for the perfect moment to finally start speaking. But the hard truth is, that perfect moment, it never comes. If you wait until you feel completely 100% ready and confident you won't make a mistake, you're literally never going to start. We so often treat language like an academic subject that we just need to memorize, when in reality, it's a physical skill that has to be practiced.
Which brings us to Section 2, consistency over intensity, building the speaking muscle.
Many people think they need to sit down and study for 3 to 5 hours in one day to make any real progress. But those intense study marathons usually just lead to total burnout. Plus, because of the long gaps between those marathon sessions, you end up spending half your time just relearning what you already forgot. Instead, consistency beats intensity every single time. Honestly, just 15 to 30 minutes a day is far, far superior. When you come back to the language every single day, your brain reinforces what you learned before it has a chance to fade. It's exactly like building physical muscle at the gym. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this: slow progress is still progress. When we feel overwhelmed, it's usually because we're zooming way out and staring at the entire, massive journey of language learning. Instead, I want you to zoom in. Don't look at your whole life, just look at today. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today? Not 10 things, just one.
Okay, Section 3, proven solo practice techniques. Let's look at some actionable tools.
First up is an incredibly powerful technique called shadowing. This is where you listen to a video or a podcast, maybe it's a TED Talk or even a news anchor, and you repeat what they say out loud, lagging behind them by just half a second. You aren't just reading along, you are physically mimicking their pace, their rhythm, and their intonation. By tracing their sentences in real time, you're actually training your mouth's physical mechanics to form the sounds at native speed, and you totally bypass the heavy mental load of trying to invent your own original sentences. It's a real game changer. Next up, we have the 60-second topic rule. Just pick any familiar topic, like your favorite movie or what you did last Sunday. Set a timer on your phone for 60 seconds and just speak aloud. But here is the trick, and it's important. You cannot stop and you cannot correct yourself mid-sentence. If you stumble, you just have to push through. This drill trains your brain to prioritize forward motion over perfect grammar, forcing you to get comfortable with the messy reality of real-time speaking. Our next tool is something called self-narration. Basically, you just talk to yourself out loud during your normal routine chores. For example, if you're cooking lunch, just narrate it as you go. I am taking the onions, I am chopping them, I will fry them in oil with cumin. It fills up those dead time hours when your brain is otherwise idle. Doing this, you can easily rock up 30 minutes of speaking practice a day without adding any extra time to your schedule at all. Here are a few more fantastic solo tools to keep in your back pocket. Try reading articles out loud to build up your phrase formation speed. Or try daily self-recording. Just speak into your phone's voice memo app for 90 seconds. It's honestly the only way to catch your own hidden filler words, like or you know. Then there's the subtitle strategy. Watch a show once with subtitles on to absorb the patterns, then rewatch it without them and try to summarize the scene out loud. Finally, leverage AI. You can use AI chat tools by asking them to prompt you with sentence starters. So the AI might ask, "Where do you live?" and provide the starter, "I live in." It's a brilliant way to do structured solo drilling. Which brings us to section 4, overcoming the fear of mistakes. You know, the actual words we use to talk to ourselves totally shape how progress feels. If you're constantly telling yourself, "I'm failing," your body literally feels heavier. That strict internal language creates fear, which makes you want to avoid speaking and just hide. But if you consciously shift that thought to, "I'm learning slowly," your body feels calmer. You create a safe internal environment for growth. Progress absolutely needs safety to thrive. Listen, even native speakers make errors all the time. So model what confident speakers do. When they make a mistake, they just laugh at it, correct themselves, and move on. The goal here isn't perfection. It's taking small daily risks. Challenge yourself to order a coffee in English or just greet a colleague. The more you take these tiny risks, the easier the whole thing gets. All right, section 5, the 2-week action plan. Here is exactly how to start. Week 1 is all about building strong habits and getting that input. Don't rely on motivation, make it a routine. Listen to English daily to get used to the rhythm. Learn full phrases instead of isolated words, so don't just learn the word busy, learn the phrase, "I'm really busy today." And make sure you speak out loud every day using that shadowing technique we talked about. Then, week 2 shifts over to active output. Start trying to actually think in English during your daily tasks. Record your voice telling short stories about your day, and push yourself to use English in real-life situations. To show you how easily this fits into a normal life, let's look at a student named Elisa. Her routine is a great example. She wakes up at 6:30, and while she takes the bus to her university, she listens to a podcast in English to get that daily input. Later in the afternoon, while she chops zucchini and boils an egg in her small apartment kitchen, she uses that self-narration tool. Then, in the evening, she sits down and practices speaking using AI sentence starters. It's not overwhelming at all. It's just small, 15-minute bursts smoothly integrated right into a busy day. Finally, section 6, beyond solo practice, breaking the plateau. Now, you can build great vocabulary recall and pronunciation completely alone. But let's be real, pure solo practice has a hard limit. It simply cannot build your spontaneous reflexes or teach you how to handle conversational fluency under stress. Why? Because there's no stranger in the room. To truly break through that plateau, you eventually need the pressure of a real person on the other side who can ask you unexpected questions and correct your hesitations in real time. So, if you want the fastest gains, your ultimate combined stack should look something like this. Use your solo tools, like shadowing and the 60-second rule, for about 10 to 15 minutes daily. Think of it as a warm-up to keep the speaking muscle active. Then, blend that with about 3 live, one-on-one sessions a week with a real conversational partner or an English coach. This combination of daily independent habits and regular live interaction, that is the missing piece of the puzzle. It's the true secret sauce to conversational fluency. As we wrap up today, I really want you to remember this one powerful thought. Communication is way more important than perfection. Please don't stay silent just because you want every single sentence to be flawless. Connection is the ultimate goal of language, and every single mistake you make is just another opportunity to learn and improve. So I'm going to leave you with a quick challenge. What is one small thing you can do today? You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. Pick one solo technique from today's explainer, set a timer for just 15 minutes, and take action. After all, what if the only thing standing between you and fluency is just 15 minutes of being brave today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep speaking!